I'm gonna draw my light prison white. I'm the legally blind artist that is rapping and painting for justice. Hoping, because you got to hold your breath for justice to Blake. Yes, it's your girl Cadillac trying to get that right, girl. Got my shades on because the sun has really been bothering my eyes this morning. As soon as I got up, I'm having issues with my contacts. But yesterday, well, really the day before, I had informed you that it just hit exactly 23 years that Marcello, my husband, has been wrongfully incarcerated. Um, yeah, 23 years. So, it actually was the ninth was his jury selection. That's why I thought it was the trial, and the trial was on the 10th. So yesterday actually made 10 years that he's been wrongfully incarcerated. Y'all know I've been trying since he was in county jail to try to clear all this up and get him home, but just ain't never happened. So 24 years of me fighting, just about 24 years. 23 that he's been in prison. Ugh. But the point of this video is that I didn't realize that it was National Poetry Month. And your girl was the hottest female rapper out of Orlando, right? But I started as a spoken word poet. So, National Poetry Month, poetry and rap are similar. It's just rap has a little bit more realms you have to stay inside of to consider it a rap. Poetry is more free flowing. Um, Left Eye, she was a rapper and a poet, and you could tell the way she wrote her poems, like they didn't stop, like they just went on and on and on. So it wasn't like, it looked like she wrote it more poetically than within bars, right? So it's hard when you do that waterfalls. I told y'all it's hard to keep up with that, and I can't believe she did it in one take. They might have had to buzz in or whatever because that's a lot to say without stopping like you would with parameters of bars. But I came from being a spoken word poet, and once I mastered the concept of bars, that's when I became a rapper. So my first raps were kind of running on. I was cramming a lot into one bar because I didn't realize I was using bars, you know what I'm saying? But ended up, I pursued a rap career because I wanted to break the story of my husband's wrongful which is now 23 years old. So that's how that ties in together. I was going to do it through, I was really good at poetry, but poets are not on the radio like that. So I was like, I gotta figure out a way to break his story. So I was trying to get it in the news. They were saying they didn't want to cover stuff like that. News don't cover every story, especially now we know why. We know they don't cover those type of stories. They want that stuff to stay intact, right? And I didn't know the music because I came up with hip hop being political, like Queen Latifah, like Ice Cube, and all of that was politics. They was talking about real stuff, and then somehow a little bit after that, rap just switched on us. Which I got to rap about that. Your art form coming back to basically take out the artist. That's crazy. That's like my art jumping up off the canvas and taking my behind up out of here. But that's what they did to our art. Started using our art against us as a weapon. Okay, so my heart was broken because I had to let the music go because I realized later, after pursuing the whole career, that I was never going to get to the point of breaking my husband's story through music, just because the platform was not created for that. They did not. We created it for that. We did. We created something that finally gave us a voice that finally showed the world what was really happening in our hoods, and that it wasn't just us, because people think we're just, so lazy. Why don't we get it together? Why don't they stop doing this? Why don't they stop doing that? And it's things that were perpetuated directly towards our communities that keep these things intact, right? But I didn't know none of that back then. I quit, I would say, in my early 30s, because I was like, at this point, I'm too old. It's not going to happen. It's not happening. Where, not on the terms that I wanted. I don't want to sell out to be a rapper. So, you know what? I'm just going to have to let it go. It hurt my heart. It hurt my heart because just like this YouTube, it's feeling like I need to let it go. I need to let social media go. But like for artists, what in this day and age is the alternative if you let social media go? But it's so difficult to make it on these platforms if you're going to stand up for what you believe in. It is very difficult, just as anything else. They don't make it easy for you. They make it almost impossible, but there's these small little loopholes that people sometimes get through. I haven't been able to get through. So kind of the wrestling with my social media, um, that is how I had to wrestle with my music. Like, am I going to continue this? It's not going anywhere. It's good as heck. I'm making, but I just can't get around that gate. Gatekeepers got that locked down tight. Now it's not as many gatekeepers in the industry, but you got the parameters. You got what they call the algorithm, which is the newly, gatekeeper, right? But anyways, in 2017, music has always still been a part of me. I used to hear rhythms in my head. I'll be asleep. I get up. I have to write these lyrics down now because I'll lose them. In 2017, after my mother passed, I joined a weekly cipher called Merc the Beat. We can't say the word that it actually is anymore online, but Merc, you know what a Merc is. Merc the Beat. And each week, the best ciphers, they would put out a beat, and the best ciphers would get reposted on Instagram, when Instagram was actually the place to be, and your stuff will get seen. So I could never build a platform. Never, since MySpace I've been trying to gain a following. I can't gain a following for nothing. Nothing in the world. I couldn't even pay a following. So, this is the reason why my YouTube is my numbers, and I'm no ways monetized after a decade being on YouTube. But that's why I can't gain a following. It's, I don't know. I've tried everything. But that was said to say that my Instagram, of course, didn't get too much traction, but theirs did. So people seen my weekly cipher. And it was one thing that I look forward to after my mother's wrongful outing from an outpatient surgery. Um, that one thing just kept me pushing to the next week, and eventually got me through. I was able to write a lot of songs about. That's how I used to release like all my stuff I'm going through. I didn't have no therapist. I barely had family. I have no friends. I've had friends sporadically throughout my life. So writing has been a release for me. Okay, so there's this one that I wrote, and yesterday, as I was bussing tables, I was like, oh, it's National Poetry Month. I should write something. And my last hour at work, I was like, I don't know why, but it came to me to revamp a Merc the Beat weekly rap that I did back then. So I'm gonna spit for you first the one that I did, my original, and then Back to the receipt, baby. This take you all the way back to Walmart. When I was at Walmart and I used to write all my raps at the door as I was door greeting. Girl, and I was so. This is why I honestly can't understand why I never did it. Because if you knew how I grinded, if you knew how I worked, if you could have gone. Those that see me is like, I just knew you were gonna make it. Yeah, I didn't. I work at a sandwich shop, so I bring bread to the table to barely bring bread to my table, girl. But so I don't have it learned. You know, I can't hardly read off the paper because it used to mess me up. Like even when I could see before I was legally blind, it was hard to read off the paper. So I gotta practice this. By the end of this shift, if today is not so busy, which I don't think it will be, by the end of this shift, I'm gonna come back and spit it when I'm having better. So let me spit the first one, and then I'm gonna spit that one. All right. I guess I'm getting writer's block. Don't know what I'ma write about. My life's so random. Guess I talk about what's going down. 36 in a couple months, days of 35, I count them down. Usual pastimes is the battles of the mind, cause my daughter's a teenager now. Blood pressure's high, I blame that on the stress in life. And KFC's $5 fill a box, cause that's a deal I just cannot pass by. Doctors report I gotta cut the salt and pork. Living this flavorless life and Kool-Aid can't drink no more. I work at a theme park. These tourists got me shaking my head. And the way they switching lanes on I-4, it's no wonder I'm not Ed. You know you can't say the word. Never stop learning. I'm a current student in graphic design. Projects due in the morning. That's why I'm living this here zombie life. Highlight of my week, Merkin. This here beat. Yeah, it's your girl Cadillac, and I'm out. Peace. Yeah, it's your girl Cadillac. Now, I'm gonna read you how I revamped that. Let me try it one more time though. I kind of messed up. I want to do it together. Let's try to get it. I guess I'm getting writer's block, don't know what I'm gonna write about. My life so random, guess I talk about what's going down. 36 in a couple months, days of 35, I count them down. Her usual pastime is the battles of the mind, cause my daughter's a teenager now. Her blood pressure's high, I blame that on the stress in life. And KFC's $5 fill a box, cause that's the deal I just cannot pass by. Her doctors report I gotta cut the salt and pork. Living this flavorless life, and Kool-Aid can't drink no more. Work at a theme park, these tourists got me shaking my head. And the way they switching lanes on I-4, there's no wonder I'm not Ed. Never stop learning. I'm a current student in graphic design. Project due in the morning, that's why I'm living this here zombie life. Highlight of my week, murder. And this here beat. Yeah, it's your girl Cadillac, and I'm out. Peace. Yeah, it's your girl Cadillac. Princess.
My dinosaur gone.
Okay, hold on. Your dinosaur gone. I'll help you in a minute. I messed up twice because she was distracting me.
My glasses.
Your glasses. These my glasses. Say hello. Say hello. Hey guys, my grandmommy rapping. I told y'all I was gonna be a rapper even once I was a grandmama. I said that long ago. Okay, so now let me ooh, my contact. Wait, mama, don't make my phone fall.
No.
Come on.
What's up the map?
Okay. I'll be done in a minute. Okay. This falling apart. My eye hurting, going to bed. The baby interrupting. And I messed up. But anyway, let's keep it rolling. Ugh. So, okay, this is the upside. I'm trying to figure out which side is up. Okay, so let's do the revamp version. I guess I'm getting writer's block. Don't know what I'ma write about. My life's so random. Guess I talk about what's going down. 44 in a couple months. Days of 43, I count them down. Early morning, late nights, cause your girl's a grandmama now. Blood pressure's right. Cause I let go all the stressors in life. Cause I gotta be here for my babies, be they guiding light. Your girl still chasing dreams, yeah, with all my might. Cause I wanna get paid from my trade and finally trade in this workshop life. Yes, trying to get off the workshop. Yeah, I've been deemed the OG prison wife. Got about another decade of living this life. But when them gates open, I'm hoping that I'm still alive. No, scratch that. Not even the grave can keep me from his side. He ain't your girl Cadillac. All right. So I'm gonna have that one down. Maybe I'll expand on it, write a couple more bars to it. But anyway, it was all in fun, all in love. All right. Hiss your girl Cadillac.